and is a member of the U.S. Department of Energy Hydrogen Fuel Cell Technology Advisory Committee. He also serves on the board of Foreign Policy Associates Strategic Partnership LLC, the Gas Technology Institute, and Centers of Houston's Future. He also is a past chairman and serves as director of the Greater Houston Partnership, an energy advisor to the University of Houston, and an advisor to the University of North Texas. And another interesting note, John has just finished a book that looks at the strategy, sustainability, and affordable energy policy for the United States. It's my understanding that he's completed the book. It's at the publisher, and it should come out early in 2010. So I encourage all of you to go out and look at that book. So without further ado, please, John Hofmeister.
Thank you, Dan, and thank you, Van, for the introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to be in Hobbs tonight and to be able to speak with you about a subject that is at the heart of what our country will or will not become in the 21st century. I would like to address some of the enablers which could make the 21st century our best ever. And I'd like to cover some of the disablers which could tip this nation into a new era, unprecedented in our country's history. It is an era that I call, for the lack of a better name, the age of the energy abyss, which is not a good era to be in. We're at a critical juncture as a nation when it comes to energy availability and energy affordability. We had quite a scare just 15 months ago when crude oil prices hit over $140 a barrel for the first time in our history. And we had quite a scare throughout 2008, early in 2008 I should say, but throughout 2007, as we experienced once again hurricane shortages of fuel from the Gulf Coast to the Middle Atlantic coast, as we experienced prices rising to the point where many families on fixed incomes or low-income families had to make serious choices about purchasing gasoline or medicine or food. What would they give up in order to purchase that gasoline? I watched at Shell as the number of drive-offs skyrocketed. People committing a criminal act because they couldn't afford the gas. I watched the number of $5, $7, $8 purchases skyrocket because that's all they had. Just enough to get a gallon or two to get them to work and back. That's not an affordable future for energy. People hurt over prices, and people and societies hurt over availability. And I would submit to you that as of today, we are no better off as a nation than we were 15 months ago at the 140-something level, because nothing has changed in the supply-demand relationship, absent a 2 to 3% drop in demand due to recessionary pressures, joblessness, and the fact that people simply have decided that they will travel less because they're not outspending money. But as the economy recovers, as jobs return, as economic confidence grows, we're right back where we were when we had those high prices. In fact, it may be worse. Because as China continues to grow its economy, and as you've read recently, China consumers are purchasing more cars for the roads of China than Americans are purchasing for the roads of the U.S., apart from the cash for clunkers period, perhaps. But China's car purchases are skyrocketing at levels that the U.S. knows, which is in the 14 to 15 million vehicles per year range. Each one of those vehicles has a 15 to 16 gallon gas tank, which needs fuel. India is approaching a rapid rise in the number of vehicles. And in fact, there is a book out called 2 Billion Cars, where the nation and the world move from roughly 1 billion cars on the road to 2 billion cars on the road by 2025. And most of those cars, despite the efforts that we're beginning to talk about, most of those cars will continue to be standard internal combustion engine-based vehicles that rely on liquid fuels. Because the number of battery vehicles or the number of hybrids or plug-in hybrids or what have you are simply not going to be of sizable scale to make a huge difference on the demand-supply relationship for liquid fuels. So what I'm teeing up here, ladies and gentlemen, is the situation we were in a year and a half ago, year and 15 months ago, is basically the same situation we find today, less 2 to 3% demand, which can and will recover. What the nation is doing is getting deeper and deeper in an energy hole about which we are not doing enough to secure our future. But let me start with some good news. There is some good news, and then unfortunately I'm going to share some bad news about the reality that we are in today and how it is likely to get worse before it gets better. The good news, we have more energy in this country than we will ever need. If you add up all the energy sources of supply in this country, from nuclear to hydrocarbon, to hydropower, to geothermal, to wind, to solar, to biofuels, we have more energy available to us than we will ever need. Now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, and beyond. We never have to have an energy shortage in the United States of America because of the supply side available to us. The coal, the oil, the natural gas, the uranium, all of nature's bounty of wind and solar, we'll never use it all. That's good news. In addition, we have more new technology every year that enables us to create energy more efficiently and use that energy more efficiently. So the efficiency through technology is an enabler of our future. So on a per capita basis, we can actually reduce per capita consumption. But of course, there are more and more people every year in our country who expect to use energy. And so the total energy demand could well increase, even while the per capita amount consumed stays flat or actually somewhat declines. Which is a very interesting dynamic that has been occurring in California over the past 20 years, where very tough regulations on efficiency have mandated flat per capita consumption. And the statistics prove it out. It is possible to do it. Another part of the good news is that we do have a working infrastructure. Wherever you go in this country, which means anywhere, you can have electricity or liquid fuel wherever you live, wherever you work, wherever you travel. Electricity and liquid fuels are ubiquitous across the country, and they are homogeneous. So that a car in New Mexico can travel anywhere in the 50 states, including